Hey guys, what's up? I don't usually stream from my personal page, but this is just too important for me to try to get everybody to the YouTube channel or to the Virginians for Children's First channel or all of that. And so I know I kind of have people consolidated here, which is why I'm streaming here, also on Virginians for Children First, and then the YouTube channel. So I'm going not, this is not going to be longer than 10 minutes. Okay. I'm just going to explain to you really quickly about what's going down in the next couple of weeks that has a enormous impact on data collection of our children. And this goes beyond the state. This goes beyond the Department of Education. This is the FTCC or the FTC. So the Federal Trade Commission. The Federal Trade Commission controls COPPA, the Children Online Privacy Protection Act. COPPA was designed in 1998. So that was my freshman year at Virginia Tech, the first year they had Ethernet, when my monitor was this big on my desk. Since then, as technology has evolved in the last 20 some years, it has never been touched. So in May, the FTC announced, I'll pull that up. They announced that they were going to be reviewing COPPA. They have come up with extremely important federal law, not controlled by the Department of Education, not controlled by the state of Virginia. And you can't buy off it's the FTC. So when I say that this is the one thing that you have power to change, even if you have no clue, this is COPPA. This is the one I've been telling you guys about, where you can find, you should know what the web apps are that are in your child's Chromebook, and you should be given the opportunity with transparency. Now here's the catch. It's under 13 because it was designed in 1998. So February 8th, COPPA, or the FTC, is having a hearing. I will be testifying in the hearing. And so the show tomorrow that I'm doing with Lynn Davis, also known as Common Core Diva, she's been one of the warriors with Jane Robbins, all these people that I talk about and share videos. When I tell you this isn't new, this is new to us, and not even new to Virginia, but new to us. So Lynn is part of my squad when I fight nationally on Twitter. But so Sons of Liberty, tomorrow, it's early. You don't have to catch it live at 6 o'clock in the morning. But so you're going to hear from South Carolina and North Carolina, who've been fighting this for over a decade, while we were ignorantly blissed because we didn't have Common Core. So that's why watching the show tomorrow is important, is it's going to explain a lot about COPPA and why figures across the nation are testifying on September 8th at the FTC hearing. So you're thinking, God, I don't know anything about COPPA. What can I do? You can simply write a public comment that says, I have no idea what COPPA is. I didn't know that they were data tracking. That says enough right there that there's a problem that they need to know about. So your statement of oblivion says more than you can even imagine. So I'm going to pull this up real quick. Okay. So this is the, so on August 11th, this is when this came out and I first jumped on it. So that's when, if you look back, that's when I started sharing that meme. Like, this is our chance of a lifetime to make a huge change. So August 11th. So I'm going to share this link. I'm going to go to comments. Okay. So that looks like that went to the Virginians for Children First YouTube or Facebook, and it went to YouTube. It may not have gone to my personal. So if you're my personal, jump over to Virginians for Children First, and it'll be there. If not, I will share it on my personal page when I get done. But so here's the overview. The most important thing is, so September 8th from 2 to 7:30, public comment or testifying starts at 5. But submit a comment. Anyone from the public can submit a comment weighing in on the rulemaking, general topics, or specific question. This site has all the information, harms for children, surveillance practices. This is everything that we are talking about, whether it's Gaggle, whether it is Go Guardian Securely. It's interesting that the FTC has a suit currently against Meta. And we have, I don't even know how many web apps, including everything whole child, SEL, almost related, that's by the same man as Meta, that's going to be part of my testimony. So there's an enormous amount of information, and they are looking to change, not so you will no longer only be able to protect your child under 13. I'm thinking that we will be able to get it up to 16. That will be a huge win, because how many people that have actually attempted to do this, as I've been asking you to do, have been told and lied to by your district that you can't do this. You can't get the data. You need to tell them this, because here's the key for Virginia real quick, guys. I got a lot of stuff open here. This is what I shared with you yesterday. Virginia has currently, it will begin January 1st of this year. It's called the Virginia Consumer Data Protection Act. January 1st, 2023, it starts. You can actually thank Ralph Northam for this. Okay. The left hates data collection. And unfortunately, whether you want to look at reality of what's going on or not, guess who doesn't? I'm just going to leave it there. So if you want to protect your children and get beyond your political blind bias that can't see past the truth, here you go. So California's different, the California Privacy Protection Act has been praised forever. But so here's the thing, is that this goes into effect, and this is what parents have been wanting to hear forever. This requires opt-in, not opt-out. Okay, I can't paste. I will find the actual internet link. This is saved from my files. Requirements for opt-in consent to process sensitive personal information. Okay. Opt-in, no longer opt-out. This is important, y'all. This is like, I don't know if you know anything about the EU, the European Union, and the GDPR. All of Europe has a unified Consumer Data Protection Act. Okay. So we have the potential with the FTC to usurp Miguel Cardona, Joe Biden, Glenn Youngkin, Amy Gadara, everybody with the FTC, which is why this is the most important thing. If you're focused on anything right now, it is to get involved with changing COPPA, because did anybody know that we even had this, the Virginia Consumer Data Protection Act in Virginia? And if you did and you haven't made it public, swamp swimming. I mean, it's just that public. It's just that much. To know that January 1st, 2023, this will go into effect. Now, of course, it has that enforcement by. But, and this is what I'm working, and you can petition your legislators that the enforcement authority, no. Leaving it up to one man, not going to work. There has to be a specific agency, because to be able to monitor this after we have had a state lying and hiding for the last 10 years, that we even have web apps, they're hidden into, buried, because best practices says, hey, you should notify parents. Look at Fairfax. Fairfax, you know why Fairfax does it correctly? Because Fairfax has this man here, Jim Siegel, technology architect, Fairfax County Public Schools. He's part of a wonderful organization. It's a think tank, Future of Privacy Forum. So again, this is saved to myself. I apologize, or I would share the link. But here, it has everything these schools should be doing. What is student data? Example of the student data collected throughout a student's educational journey include name, age, gender, race, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, grades, test scores, attendance, discipline, health. Oh, fuck, data quality campaign. But who uses data? Well, students, parents. Yeah, we don't even know it exists. But the school and district administrators, State Department of Education, the U.S. Department of Education, education technology companies. It's actually a wonderful, and I think I've posted it before. If I haven't, I will. Transparent student privacy policies and practices are necessary to effectively protect privacy in the educational context. In the absence of transparency, students and their parents worry about constant surveillance and monitoring through technological interactions. So you have to consider that a man in Fairfax was a part. The Future of Privacy Forum, look them up. They have put out manuals. Now, this manual that I'm right here, this is for schools and districts. They have one for parents and students. But so it goes through everything that you need to know, which is outraging considering a man in Fairfax, which is why Fairfax is the only county that notifies them with specific web apps and how to opt out and doesn't hide them under some lies and some BS. It also goes into best practices for FERPA, PPRA, including reviewing student surveys, providing notice to parents, and obtaining consent when necessary. But that's going to be a different show. But so this document here, links upon links upon links upon links. But what had me outraged, and I sent this to my county, and they're actually working on it after months. But it goes through what best practice. Now, keep in mind, this is for, and then it talks about talking to parents, talking points. Guys, parents, ask your school district, send your school board tonight. Why does the school district use my child's data? Question mark. How is the school district protecting my child's data? Even if you don't know anything, ask them these questions. Who has access to my child's data? I'm really interested to see what they tell you there. But on our website, vafcf.org, under the privacy manual, it has all of this plus pages of questions to ask them far beyond. But these are the basics. How is my school district using my child's data? Do I, as a parent, have any say in how my child's data is collected and used? At the beginning of each school year, we provide parents with information about their rights related to their child's data and the ability to opt out of sharing directory information. Did that happen to you? Did you get, did anybody provide you with information about your rights related to their child's data? Did you receive one? I didn't, ever. But here's the most enraging part, is that right here, parental rights under federal, state, and privacy laws, parents have the right to access, review, and amend student data. The beginning of the school year is a critical time to set clear expectations with parents around ethical and equitable practices for student privacy and online learning for the year ahead. Ideally, parents hear a coordinated message for both their child's classroom educators and the school and the district. So here's the problem in Chesterfield and around the state is that you've got wonderful principals like my daughter before I yanked her out of here, who completely respected when I invoked PPRA sent an email to every single one of her teachers, copied me on it saying, you are not to talk to Anne blah, blah, blah child about these 8 things. It is not mythical. Because your school lies to you and tells you that you can't, that's the issue, okay? This is federal law. So this is their back to school letter. Keep in mind, Fairfax does this because he helped create this. Welcome back to blah, blah, blah. The letter is literally written for the school boards. All they have to do is fill in the blanks. This is the Fairfax example that on our website also. Educational technology consent form. Each year, schools and districts should provide notice. Should is the thing. Should. Because they can bury it in their school website, which I've said before, it took me 20 minutes to find Chesterfield's web apps buried from 2019 in a Chromebook deployment link. That's really transparent. But if they're not hiding anything, why are they hiding it? Why are they not telling you? So it says, this is literally the form Fairfax uses. It lists all of the website, all of the technology, education technology they're using. It gives a link to where you can go and figure it out yourself. And then the privacy. Okay. But before I digress any further, it even goes on to, I give permission for my child to participate in universal social and emotional behavioral screening process and data collection. So when I say that they're doing not just social emotional learning, because that doesn't seem to light up enough flags for people, but behavioral screening process and data collection. Again, we go back to DECA, Panorama, and the numbers I've discussed before. I do not give permission for my child to participate in this. Again, so we go back to opting in versus opting out. So it even goes on to, here's a text that they should, back to school text, general tech follow-up text. So when I say, so we have the Virginia Consumer Data Protection Act, but because a state cannot provide more coverage than what the federal law says, we are currently locked down. I may have passed it. It's under 13. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. But so in Virginia, sensitive personal data is, oh, here it is. Children's data for those 12 or younger. This is why you need to get involved with COPPA, which is currently under review. Here's the links. If you're on my personal page, it's on the Virginians for Children's First, or I'll share it when I'm done. I don't know why it's not sharing here, or it's not showing. Immigration or citizenship status, precise geolocation, back to the RF chips in the Chromebooks, tracking your child, race and ethnicity, religious beliefs, sexual orientation, health and medical history, genetic and biometric data. So we have a lot to work on with this, because if you look over here at California, login and password. So if we're not protecting it here, then they can still have access to your child's login. Philosophical beliefs, not on here. Why? Because that involves PPRA, that involves social emotional learning. But does it matter? No, that's PPRA, but you have to enforce it. But this is a starting place, guys. But the main thing is here. There will never be another chance in our lifetime to have an impact that goes beyond your school board that you're fighting for truth, that goes beyond the Virginia Department or Board of Education or Glenn Youngkin or Amy Gadara or any of them loving some data mining, to go beyond Miguel Cardona and Joe Biden, because COPPA is the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. Okay. They're not messing around. They don't mess around. They don't like conglomerates that suck up any kind of free market system. They don't like Amazon. They don't like Google. They're going after, they just sued Meta. Guess what? Lego, metaverse. This is our reality, whether you want to admit it or not in Virginia. So if you want to protect your children, the opportunity is now. Make a public comment. Please. I will post copious amounts of data is where that's my new word. But guys, I will post this because I have here the actual proposed regulations. And it's pages and pages and pages. Do you need to know all of it? No, I will surely, as I dig through it tonight, give you the important pieces of it. But even if the only thing that you know is that you have never seen an opt-out or anything about web apps or data technology or anything in public schools or private schools, because guess what? They're doing it there too. So, excuse me, but this was a recent survey done. Oh God, it wasn't even that recent ago. It was 2002. So this would have been 4 years after its inception. And it was, I'm sure I could probably find a more recent one, but it goes through and it talks about transparency, how many schools, and it was egregious then, how many schools were not offering. But guys, this one I found that's really frightening, and this is what you need to think. This is what you need to think about. Okay, the metaverse, gamification of learning is very real. It is very upon us. And this is why I keep screaming about Lego coming to Chesterfield County. They're not building one single Lego block. Lego and the metaverse and the gamification. This here is going to be children's education. And it goes through the psychological harms. It goes through everything. And again, this is not a show for me to break any of this down for you. What I wanted to do for this with you was to give you the opportunity to tomorrow on Rumble. I will copy and post. So Tim also streams multiple places. I think he streams to Facebook, but Sons of Liberty, I'm trying to think where else he streams from. I'll post it from you. You don't have to actually be there live in the morning at 6 a.m. But watch the show, because it's going to be talking to people that are not just me telling you why this is important. It's going to be people that have been fighting this for over a decade. If you aren't familiar with Common Core Diva, with Lynn, who is a beast, Lynn and Jane Robbins, unfortunately, the majority of the warriors in this, Karen Ephraim, Phyllis Schlafly, and Charlotte Iserbyt, have all passed away, which is, considering where we are in the world right now, it is a sad thing. But Stella Morabito is a linchpin in this. Jane Robbins is a linchpin in this. Alice Linehan, who I shared a video earlier on my Facebook page about her testifying in Texas about the suicide rate that has skyrocketed. This was years ago. She testified, and about the mental health decline in children. So it's not new, guys. It's just new to us. So if you do nothing, this is, again, before I leave and go enjoy my children for a little bit today, if you do we will never, I cannot emphasize this enough. Write your legislators. Tell them, where are you? Have you issued a statement? Because Virginia seems to be the only place I can find that legislators don't care. For me to agree with Elizabeth Warren and Mackey, they have all issued firm statements. But Virginia has Tim Kaine, who wants more data collection. So is Virginia the center, the mouth of hell, as I call it? It possibly could be. But this is an issue that if you want to find a hill to die on, at least temporarily, this needs to be it. Because when you take the data, which is why they're hiding it, the house of cards falls. Okay. So SEL can't have it without assessments. Can't have any of this without data. So once it becomes transparent to parents that it's opt-in, not opt-out, that's the difference. We have a chance to flip the script, to change the course that our children are on without fighting we don't have Virginia Senate. We don't have a governor who will stand up for this. Our Secretary of Education should actually be called the Secretary of Virginia Economy and Labor Pool. We don't have to do that. We have the opportunity of a lifetime to make a statement for the state of Virginia. Nationwide, if you're watching this from a different part, you have a chance because the rest of the nation is squatting up for this. If you guys want to learn more, I will be happy to do a COPPA intensive show probably tomorrow. I'm already doing one at 6 a.m. So I will jump back on after the 6 a.m. show on Sons of Liberty, which is, I think, Get It? Is it Getter? Rumble, a couple different places. It will be live. But so that's in the morning at 6 a.m. And if you're not up that early, you should watch it. And I will do a recap of the show. But the Virginia Consumer Data Protection Act exists. It's not perfect, but we are one of four states that actually has its own. So keep your eyes open, because knowing what is going on inside the Department of Education, is that could we wake up and all of a sudden have that thing disappear? Don't know. So I'm just telling you to keep your eyes open because it exists. And if you want your children to be protected past the age of 12, because that would be 6th grade, if you want them to be protected from data mining 7th and 8th, and including in high school where they're now doing 9th through 12th self-reporting, those are the behavioral assessments that are part of SEL that nobody seems to understand how absolutely horrible. Those are creating the economic EQ on children. And that's the drive for all of this virtual Virginia stuff that you see. This has been going on a very, very long time, guys. Way before COVID is the drive for virtual Virginia. Personalized, if you see terms like personalized learning, anything like collaborative, or there's some, I will put you guys a list, but one-to-one devices, all of that stuff is the drive. They literally want our children out of brick and mortar. They're going to start, I don't know if y'all saw the Balo, or not, the Balo video, where she literally said that the special education, we're using the special education playbook to create individual education programs for all children. Okay. So your child will no longer be learning everything that every child learns. Personalized learning will become based on their EQ that starts with this government preschool Head Start DECA, which is DESA. So their lot in life will be prescribed to them in, say, 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, whether they're an alpha or a beta, or a delta or a gamma, based on their EQ. This is coming from Zuckerberg. Look up EQ versus IQ. It's everywhere. Your emotional quotient And so then with this personalized one-to-one differentiated learning, because teachers certainly can't do it. They can't teach each child their own individual personalized learning. Let's look at like the common sense reality of it. So who are they going to rely on? It's going to be algorithm-driven education. They're already doing it. When children take tests, based on their previous answer, their next question will be directed. They're not all getting the same test. One. So their answers are changing based on their EQ, their level of intelligence. So not all children are receiving the same education. And do we know why? I do. Because of all of these behavioral assessments that have been going on for years. I keep hearing the teacher that called it that stupid PBIS survey that I have to fill out, card that I have to fill out. And I showed her, I said this, and I showed her the DESA T-scores. She was mortified because she'd been doing them for years, thinking they were just some stupid PBIS thing. She had no idea what she was doing. So your child will be locked into, I'm an alpha or a beta, or I'm a delta gamma, or delta or gamma. Alphas and betas, their education is going to be driven differently. That's personalized learning. You're going to get a different track because maybe your EQ or you're a little bit smarter at 5 or 6 years old. Your lot in life is going to be solid. Whereas your deltas and your gammas, they're going to have even more dumbed down education because their EQ when they were 4, 5, 6. So that's the reality of what we're living in. So this is our chance of a lifetime. We will never have one again to get involved, to make a difference. Because, guys, every generation has their war. And this is why this is not a culture war. This is a constitutional war. And if you have to find a hill to die on, there is no other one right now. And if you're a politician, if your local legislators are not talking about this, give them the information. Ask them why they're not. This is why I made the post. Take no CRT off of your sign, because I have enough politicians that follow me. Take it off your sign and put no SEL or no data collection, because we fell for the no CRT one time this past year. Okay. You can't teach a college curriculum that is actually a college curriculum. Is it being taught? Yes. Is it CRT? No. Is diversity, equity, inclusion with SEL being the insertion device. So anybody, educate them first, give them the opportunity, explain to them why they're not teaching CRT. Then once you give them the information, if they don't do anything about it, they're no longer stupid. They're swamp swimming. It's one or the other. So I'm going to go because I did not want this. I can't ever do anything short. But guys, I will provide you the information. If you have no clue, zero clue what COPPA is, that's the problem there. That's all the public comment that you need to make. My county lied to me. They told me that I could not opt my child out, or go on our website and ask them the questions. What data are you collecting? Who has access to my child's data? What web apps are you using currently? Just ask them that. And then when they come back with the answers, we'll go from there. But public commenting ends in October. So we have a little bit more time on that. But we need to get the ball rolling now. There is no other time but now. This is the time. We do not have another year or two to play catch up from being a decade behind, which is why I've been shoving this in people's faces that this is the reality. So watch the show tomorrow, Sons of Liberty. So South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia are going to squat up and they're going to try with me to back up everything that I've been telling you, that this has been going on in the nation forever and that we are a decade behind. So that's why this show tomorrow, I don't just share the show. Watch the show that I'm on. This isn't the and show, okay, guys? This is not about me. This is about people that understand the frustration in Virginia and how far we are behind. And they are wanting to get involved and get a national platform to the plight that is in Virginia currently, that the red wave did not save us from. So that's what tomorrow's about. It's not about me. It's not about me here. I'm going to be on a show. It's about here's people that have been fighting this for 10 years, 15 years to tell you this is how grave it is. Okay. And then we will do a catch up. But do something tonight. Write your school board. Ask them, what data are you collecting? Who has access to my child's data? What technology apps are you using? Can I opt out of my child's data? And then send me their answers, because then we'll pick those apart. And then you can then write COPPA and say, or the FTC, to make your public comment that in Loudoun County, Virginia, I was told that I could not have access to my child's data. In Chesterfield County, I was told that I could not, that they were not collecting data. It doesn't, ask the questions and then get the answers, because the answers that they're lying are there. And this is what I say, is that we don't have a lot of control over a lot of things right now. This is one thing that we have control over, that we can actually make a generational difference for our children and our grandchildren and the years to come. This opportunity for the FTC, who is not swamp swimming and is not the Department of the DOE, the VDOE, the VBOE. This is the Federal Trade Commission. Okay. This is the only opportunity that we will have in our lifetime like this to not fight a political battle to protect our children. I cannot emphasize that enough. So I'm already way beyond what I said I was going to do, but guys, send me your questions. VP. Let me see if I can do a banner real quick before I jump off. All right. Email me your questions. That's right. All right. VP.va for children first at gmail.com. Email me. But first, please go here first and foremost, because a lot of the questions go to the student data privacy manual. And if you go back to the opt-out show I did, I think 5 days ago, I actually go through the manual and show you all of this stuff regarding COPPA. And because this was back when I first found out that they were even bringing it to the forefront. So go here first, because we have so many resources, so many manuals, Rockefeller, Carnegie, that would blow your mind. Okay. But most importantly, the student data privacy manual that we put together, it is federal law. I didn't make it up. They're lying to you if they say it's not, this doesn't exist. It's not me, guys. It's them. So tune in tomorrow morning. If you're an early bird, I will probably not look like this. I will probably still be wearing a hat. I might change my shirt. But this is a huge show with people that, if you don't believe me what I'm talking about, watch the show. And then I will do a recap tomorrow. But Common Core Diva, I don't have her blog. If one of you guys, I think if Lisa or if one of y'all are watching this, if you'll share her blog, but I will look it up too and share it. But Lynn has been fighting. I mean, the stuff that you're not going to believe, the stuff that she was writing about 5 years ago, because it's stuff that just came out of my mouth. But there's a ton of information out there, guys, that is far, far, far beyond. Hey, Chris. So guys, this is the opportunity of a lifetime to change something that could, the trajectory outside of the swamp. This is the Federal Trade Commission. The hearing is again September 8th. I do believe to testify the cutoff. I was on the wait list, and I signed up like 3 days after it opened, and then I got a spot. But public comment, please. But first, email your school board tonight. Ask them the questions. What are you go to the website. There's pages of questions in the data privacy manual that we created. It goes through COPPA. It has the forms to opt them out. They're not mythical, guys. Because your principal or your school district or your division is lying to you, that doesn't make them not real. They're lying, not me. And certainly not Virginians for Children's First. Because I don't do this for nothing. And we certainly are not funded by anybody. So, but guys, this is the most important. There's really nothing else that matters right now than this, because there will never be another chance to change something than this. Because this doesn't involve an election. This doesn't involve politics. This involves protecting children, transparency, truth, that the FTC will not mess around. No. And they have started to see the light where they failed, since they haven't touched this since 1998 when I was 18 years old. So they are accepting full responsibility, and they are going hard, and they are hitting hard. But you need to let them know that you have been lied to, that you have had nothing told to you. Your children are in 9th grade, and you have never known in the last, I don't know, since 2009, when the statewide longitudinal database was mandated that our children's data be swapped across the country, that you didn't know any of that. You don't receive an annual notice from FERPA or COPPA that you can opt anybody out. That's what they need to know. Even if that's all that you know, is that you know nothing, and you've had children in public school for 5 years, 6 years, 1 year, 2 years. Nobody that they need to know that. You don't need to know the specifics of it. That's why I'm testifying, but you need to make the effort. We need a Virginia-wide effort to send them a message. We are here. I've been on shows nationally before where we thought Virginia was out of this forever. Sorry, we're not. We're here now. And we're going to stand up for our children. And this is our way to do it without bringing politics into it, without having to have a Senate, without having to go through legislation. Because, guys, this is the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. So, on that note, I will post a lot of links tonight. I'm just going to, and I'm signing off of Facebook. I'm not going to communicate, but I will share a ton of links for you guys if you want more information. If you don't, that's on you. What they do with your child's data is, I can just give it to you. I can't put the pen in your hand. I can't make you do it. I can just tell you that you will never have another chance than the one we have right now. So on that note, I hope to see you guys I posted the link on my Facebook page and on the Virginians for Children's First page. But Sons for Liberty, again, I will share that right here. This is their Rumble. It's Sons of Liberty Radio Live, if you're a Rumbler. I think I also saw it's on Getter. Get it? Is that one? And I think that they do an audio. They have an audio on YouTube. I haven't been able to find the video. So they're in a couple places. And his name's Tim, and I copied him on it. I think that it streams live to his Facebook group live page, whatever the difference is. Anyway, so it'll be in a couple places tomorrow. So if you're up and you're an early bird, join me bright and early, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Either way, I will check back and make sure that if you woke up after 6 or 7 o'clock, that you are going to watch the video. And then we're going to talk about where do we go from here. So this is for you guys. This is our shot. This is the one shot that we have to make a difference outside of politics, outside of politicians, outside of the swamp, outside of being a liberal, a leftist, a conservative, a rhino, a Republican. This is our shot to fight for our children, strictly as parents who give a shit. We can surpass all the bullshit and go straight to the FTC and get something done for our children and leave with the politics out and at the door. How wonderful is that? There is an answer from God that he's still there and that we can make a difference and not have to fight the political warfare and the nightmare going on. Nothing could be more beautiful. So, see you guys later. Bye.